Hello, I'm Mike Hayes, back with another video on how to apply the Barry Harris method to the guitar fingerboard. In this session, we're specifically looking at the type of chord voicings that Barry uses and how he moves from one chord to the next in a diatonic chord progression. As we know, many of the chord shapes that we play on guitar are not that well suited to jazz. The standard bar chord, for example, contains 3 roots, 2 fifths and a third. So it really doesn't suit the jazz sound because the chord isn't balanced enough. I'm hoping by the time you get to the end of this video, you're more aware of what's going on under your fingers rather than just thinking about the chord shape itself. Anyway, enough of me, let's get started. All the chord progressions and examples in this session are derived from the diatonic circle of fifths. Before we jump in, let's have a look at what a diatonic circle of fifths is. I'm sure most of you will be familiar with the circle of fifths. That is all the notes in a chromatic scale arranged in a series of fifths or fourths, depending which way you're moving around the circle. Our first examples will be in the key of C. So let's have a look at how to create a diatonic circle of fifths in the key of C. The process is really quite simple. Since we want to create a diatonic cycle 5 in the key of C, we start at the note C. Then we move around our cycle 5 diagram in an anti-clockwise manner, eliminating all the notes that are not found in the key of C. And it's as simple as that. We now have the 7 notes that are in the key of C arranged in a sequence of fourths or fifths. In this session, we'll be moving around the circle in an anti-clockwise manner. Therefore, all the notes will be a fourth apart. The various notes around the circle represent the bass movement for our progressions. The next step is to assign these bass notes specific chord qualities. The chord qualities refer to the traditional chord structures found when we harmonise a scale. And now here we have our diatonic circle 5 in the key of C with the various chord structures shown. And this chord sequence moving around our diatonic circle 5 in an anti-clockwise fashion will form the basis for the next couple of exercises that we'll be doing. In this first exercise, we'll be moving around the cycle progression that we've just created, and we're using chord structures that contain 4 notes in each chord. Here's the same exercise, only this time we're omitting the fifth in each chord. Therefore, each chord structure in this exercise will contain only 3 notes. This next exercise is an example of how Barry Harris connects chords in a chord progression. The idea is that we're going to create a melody by starting on the third of each chord. Therefore, we'll start on the note E for C major 7th. The next note will be A, and that's the third of F major 7th. Then we'll use 2 ascending scale notes, and we're in the key of C, of course, so the notes will be B and C. And what we're wanting to do is arrive at the note D for the B minor 7 flat 5, which of course is the third of the B minor 7 flat 5 chord. Have a listen to this melody, and remember the idea is that it's based on a target note of the third of each chord in the progression. It's in 6/8 time, so remember to wait for the 6 clicks before you start. And now here's that same exercise, only this time we're identifying the chord structures when they occur in the progression. And as you'll hear, each chord is connected by 2 scale notes. Okay, and as you can hear, that can be a very effective way of connecting chords. Right then, let's have a look at some other ways that Barry Harris voices chords in diatonic chord progressions. For these next exercises, we'll move to the key of F. So let's go through that same process that we did earlier on in the video. We'll begin with our full circle of fifths, that's the 12 notes in our chromatic scale. We're wanting to create a diatonic cycle in the key of F. Therefore, this time we'll start at the note F, moving around anti-clockwise and eliminating all the notes that are not in the key of F. And now here's our bass notes in our diatonic cycle 5 in the key of F. And now let's assign these bass notes chord qualities. And that's it. Let's play through that chord progression using the specific chord voicings that you'll see on the screen. And then we'll have a look at why these chord voicings sound so cool. Right then, we're going to go through the same chord progression using the same chord shapes, only this time we're going to have some colour coding to help us analyse what's going on in this particular set of chord voicings. The 2 outside notes in each chord voicing is a 1/10 apart. Let's have a listen to that chord progression playing only the outside notes of each chord. And these 1/10ths are indicated with red dots. Here's the same chord shapes that we originally played in this progression, only this time it's coded in red and green. The green indicates the 2 inner voicings of the chords, that's the alto and tenor. The red indicates the outer voicings of the chord, that's the top note, the soprano, and the low note, the bass. Now you'll notice that in each pair of chords, the 2 outside notes move while the 2 inner voicings remain the same. And this pattern continues throughout the entire progression. Let's play that progression again, only this time really being aware of what's going on under our fingers. Let's play that same chord progression an octave lower. Once again, we have the same colour coding. The outside notes are indicated in red, and keep in mind that the two outside notes are a tenth apart, and the inner voicings of each chord are indicated with green dots. Here's that same chord progression one more time, only this time I'm starting on a different inversion of F major 7. But once again, have a look at the various chord shapes that I've chosen and see what's going on under our fingers. Well, that's it for today, folks. I do hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I hope there's something in this lesson that'll help you develop your own musical style on guitar. If you enjoyed this session and felt you got some value out of it and you'd like to support this channel, there's a link in the description below this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on all the good stuff, and if you like this video, don't forget to give us a like. It really helps us out. Until next time, all the very best with your guitar playing. Bye for now.